All right, today we are breaking down the exact blueprint for building that classic V-taper. You know, the kind of physique you see on superheroes, even on those ancient Greek statues. And look, it's not about luck or having some crazy genetics, it's a system. So if you're ready to stop guessing and actually start building with a real purpose, let's dive right into the blueprint.
So, does this sound a little too familiar? You are putting in the hours at the gym, you're training hard, but when you look in the mirror, the shape just isn't there. You feel more like a walking rectangle than that superhero you had in mind. If that's you, I'm telling you, it's not because you're not working hard enough, it's because you're missing the right strategy. And that's exactly what we're going to fix today.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll cover the core formula for aesthetics. Then, we're going to build the foundation of that V-taper. After that, we'll get into the details that really make the physique pop. We'll talk about how to reveal all your hard work. And finally, we'll put it all together in one complete, easy-to-follow blueprint.
Okay, first things first, the aesthetic formula. And the main thing you need to get here is that this kind of physique we're talking about, it isn't some happy accident. It's actually a predictable outcome. And it's based on two core principles. It's really less about genetic luck and a whole lot more about simple math. And here are those two principles, right here. It all boils down to this super simple equation. A lean enough body plus a very specific set of proportions. I mean, if you can get both of these right, that aesthetic look is pretty much inevitable. But if you get one wrong, you'll always feel like something's missing.
So what does lean actually mean? Well, we're talking about a body fat percentage right around 10 to 15%. This is the sweet spot. Seriously, it's lean enough that your muscles have clear definition for your abs to show, but it's not so lean that you look kind of gaunt or unhealthy. You want to look defined, not depleted.
Now for the second part of the formula. And honestly, this is where most people get tripped up. They just focus on getting bigger and bigger. But aesthetics isn't about maximum size. It's all about having the best shape. And that shape, it all comes down to the ratio between your shoulders and your waist. And here it is, the magic number. The ideal shoulder to waist ratio is about 1.6. That means your shoulders should be roughly 1.6 times wider than your waist. This, right here, is the mathematical key that creates that powerful, heroic V-taper illusion. This ratio is the goal we are building towards.
Okay, so now we know the formula. The big question is, how do we actually build for that 1.6 ratio? Well, we start with the foundation. We do it by focusing on what I call the 3 pillars of power. These are the 3 muscle groups that give you the most bang for your buck and create the most dramatic visual change, really fast. And here they are, your side delts, your upper chest, and your lats. Seriously, forget everything else for just a moment. If you want to build that V-taper, these 3 are your absolute top priority. Mastering them is non-negotiable, so let's break down exactly why.
First up, the side delts. This is without a doubt the number one muscle for aesthetics because it directly builds horizontal width. The wider your shoulders get, the narrower your waist looks in comparison, even if your waist stays the exact same size. This directly hacks that 1.6 ratio in your favor. Next, the chest. And what's really important here is the common mistake. So many people just hammer the flat bench press, which tends to develop the lower part of the chest, and that can create kind of a droopy or melting look. The aesthetic focus should be on the incline press, which builds that powerful upper shelf, making your chest look full and square.
And the third pillar, the lats. So if the side delts create width at the very top, the lats create width down your back. When they're developed, they taper down towards your waist, creating this powerful reverse triangle effect that just dramatically enhances the whole V shape. We're talking about that powerful illusion you get from vertical pulling exercises. You know, like pull-ups and lat pull-downs.
All right, with the foundation in place, it's time to add the finishing touches. These are the smaller, often overlooked muscles that take a physique from just good to great. They give it that complete, totally polished look. So the 3 key detail groups are your forearms, your neck, and your abs. They just signal strength and they complete the whole picture. Think about it. A powerful upper body without strong forearms or a solid neck, it just looks unbalanced, right?
And of course, we have to talk about legs. Because yeah, they don't directly create the V-taper, but true aesthetics is all about balance. Don't be that person who builds this incredible upper body on a foundation of, well, breadsticks. Balance is a huge part of aesthetics, so proper leg training is absolutely essential.
Now, let's talk about abs for a second, because this is where people waste so much time. Doing endless crunches and ab circuits, that's basically just cardio on the floor.
Abs are muscles. They need resistance and they need progressive overload to grow, just like your biceps. You should be thinking weighted, controlled reps to build thick, visible abs, not just endless reps hoping something shows up.
So you've built the foundation and you've added the details. The muscle is there, but there's one final, absolutely crucial step. You have to be lean enough to actually see it. This is the part where all your hard work finally gets unlocked.
You know, this quote says it all. You can have the strongest, most well-developed abs in the entire world, but if they're covered by a layer of body fat, no one is ever going to see them. So let's be crystal clear. Getting lean isn't some optional add-on. For an aesthetic physique, it is an absolute requirement.
And hey, getting lean doesn't have to be some super complicated thing. Here's a simple system. Walk daily, aim for around 10,000 steps to burn calories without making you starving. Eat enough protein to keep your muscle. You got to control your calories. You don't have to track forever, but do it for a few weeks just so you understand what you're actually eating. And weigh yourself daily. But, and this is key, only pay attention to the weekly average. And the biggest thing, build a system you can actually follow because motivation always fades. Okay, we have covered all the pieces, so let's put it all together into one clear, cohesive blueprint that you can use as your guide. This is the entire system right here at a glance. Here it is. Step 1, master the formula. Get to 10 to 15% body fat and aim for that 1.6 shoulder to waist ratio. Step 2, build the foundation. Prioritize your side delts, your upper chest, and your lats. Step 3, add the details, forearms, neck, and properly trained abs. And finally, step 4, reveal the physique. Use a simple, sustainable system to get lean. That's it.
So, there you have it. The blueprint itself, it isn't complex. The path is actually pretty clear. The real question isn't about knowing what to do anymore. It's all about execution. The information is right here, but the work, that's on you. So, is your system strong enough to bring this blueprint to life?